Think back to your childhood for a second. Picture the Monopoly Man, from the front of the classic board game box. Tell me, does he have a monocle? Like, really lock that image in your head. Got it? Okay, let's push this just a little bit further.
Picture Pikachu. We've all seen him 1,000 times, right? Does his tail have a black tip? Or how about the Fruit of the Loom logo, the one printed on millions of clothing tags? Is there a cornucopia? That little woven brown horn-shaped basket sitting right behind the fruit? Okay, so you have your answers? You're probably feeling pretty confident right about now.
Well, if you answered yes to literally any of those, I have some pretty unsettling news for you. Your brain completely made it up. Seriously, I know you can see it perfectly in your head right now, but the Monopoly Man has never worn a monocle. Pikachu's tail, it is pure, solid yellow. And the Fruit of the Loom logo, it is just fruit. There is no basket. There has never been a basket. Ever.
Section 1. The Matrix Glitch. Where did this come from?
Okay, let's dive into this. Because what you're experiencing right now, it isn't just a simple mistake. Millions of people all over the world share these eerie, incredibly vivid fake memories. It's actually making some people believe we're slipping into parallel universes or a glitching simulation. Welcome to this explainer on the Mandela effect. The term itself was coined back in 2010 by a researcher named Fiona Broom. She basically discovered that she wasn't alone in holding a very specific, tragic, historical memory that turned out to be completely false.
She, along with thousands and thousands of completely unconnected people across the globe, distinctly remembered South African civil rights leader Nelson Mandela dying in prison in the 1980s. I mean, they remembered super specific details, like watching his televised funeral on the news and his widow giving a tearful speech. Except, he didn't die in the 80s. He was actually released from prison alive in 1990, went on to become president, and lived all the way until 2013. So, how on earth could so many people vividly remember a funeral that never even happened?
And it doesn't just stop at history either. It happens in our most beloved movies too. Think about arguably the most famous line in cinema history from Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back. Literally everyone quotes it as, "Luke, I am your father." But if you go back and watch the actual film right now, Darth Vader never actually says Luke's name in that scene. The actual line is, "No, I am your father." Crazy, right? Or how about the classic animated film Snow White? For decades, people have quoted the evil queen saying, "Mirror, mirror on the wall." It's everywhere in pop culture. But if you check the original film, she never says it. The actual line is, "Magic mirror on the wall." I know, it feels so wrong just saying it out loud, doesn't it? So are we living in a glitching reality where history is just being edited behind our backs? Well, let's strip away the conspiracy theories for a second and shift our focus to the actual science.
Section 2. How your brain hacks itself. The science of memory.
To really understand the Mandela effect, we have to look inward at how human memory actually works. The terrifying truth is, your brain is not a video recorder. We all have this misconception that our brain saves a perfect digital file to some biological hard drive, and when we want to remember something, we just hit play. That couldn't be further from the truth. A memory is actually a lot more like a giant jigsaw puzzle. Every single time you recall an event, your brain has to pull scattered pieces from totally different areas, like a smell from over here, a visual from there, an emotion from somewhere else. And it tries to put the whole puzzle back together on the fly, in real time. But what happens when a piece of that puzzle is just missing? Well, your brain absolutely hates gaps. It craves a complete picture. So when it can't find the real piece, it panics. It looks at the surrounding pieces and simply autofills the blank space with a brand new piece that it creates. It just guesses what logically makes sense. In psychology, this fascinating and, let's be honest, slightly terrifying process is called confabulation. You aren't lying on purpose. Your brain is literally just patching the holes without telling you. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly why this happens, which brings us right back to our first test. Take the Monopoly Man. He wears a top hat, a tuxedo, he carries a cane. He represents this very classic, old-school billionaire archetype. Now, who else fits that exact same archetype? Mr. Peanut. And Mr. Peanut actually does wear a monocle, so when your brain went to rebuild the puzzle of the Monopoly Man, it was missing the exact data for his eyes, it panicked, grabbed a piece from the Mr. Peanut puzzle because it felt entirely logical, and just blended the two together.
Section 3. The danger of schemas. Mental shortcuts.
Now you might be wondering, why does the brain jump to Mr. Peanut instead of, say, sunglasses?
Psychologists call this underlying mechanism a schema. A schema is basically a mental shortcut. See, the world is way too complex to process every single detail all the time, right? So your brain groups similar things together into these mental folders to save energy. You have a schema for what a billionaire looks like. You have a schema for what a Thanksgiving harvest looks like. And that is exactly why your brain inserts a cornucopia basket behind the fruit on the Fruit of the Loom logo. It just fits the mental folder.
So let's walk through exactly how this builds from a personal brain glitch into a massive global phenomenon. Step 1, you recall a memory. Step 2, your brain hits a blank spot. Step 3, it autofills that blank using a schema, that mental shortcut we just talked about. But here is the absolutely crucial step 4, social reinforcement. This is how the Mandela effect goes viral. If I walk up to you and say, hey, remember when Darth Vader said, Luke, I am your father? Your brain immediately starts trying to build that memory using my prompt as the blueprint. Even if it's totally fake, your brain accepts the suggestion. And once a few million people online repeat that same false memory to each other, it solidifies. It stops being just a personal error and literally becomes a collective truth.
Section 4. Rewriting your reality. Your inner storyteller.
It's kind of a humbling realization, isn't it? We trust our memories implicitly. But in reality, your memory isn't an archivist, it is a master storyteller, and it's constantly tweaking the script of your life without your permission. Which leaves us with a truly mind-bending thought. If your brain can fabricate a monocle, a movie quote, or an entire televised funeral, what else is it making up? So what is your personal Mandela effect? What's a childhood memory you would swear on your life is real, but turned out to be a lie? Drop it in the comments below. Thanks for tuning into this explainer. Hit that follow button, and remember, never trust everything your brain tells you. See you in the next reality.